Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Imagine a sponge so revolutionary it has the power to change cleaning as we know it. Made of a patented polymer, its texture changes based on the temperature of water. Its shape is designed to be easy to grip and clean utensils with ease. Its catchphrase claims it is America's favorite sponge. And with 80 million in annual sales, this humble little kitchen sponge sure has something to smile about. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Scrub Daddy.
We're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Hi, welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I'm John Glover.
I'm Marissa Pinson.
You're always so weird about saying you want to put your whole name out there. You want people to be able to Google you.
I see myself as like a Madonna, an Adele.
Listen, yes. Looks, yes. You're gorgeous. I told you before we went on pod.
I do need to hear that. If anybody has any compliments about my beauty, please send them to me. I'm very tired. I'm weary. I need as much building up as I can get.
Okay, this is going to sound like an insult, but it's not. It's, I think, the tiredness that looks good on you right now. When I compliment how you look, to me, you look like that episode of Sex and the City when Carrie had the photo shoot where she had stayed up all night and she was smoking and she looked kind of rough, but she looked good. I thought she looked...
You mean the episode where her face was on the cover of, and it said single and not loving it or something?
Yeah, that one. And she went around trying to buy all the magazines.
Because she looked so bad on them.
She thought she looked bad. I thought she looked so real.
So I look a little like tousled, a little... fresh from LA, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It works for you.
I wish I was fresh from LA.
Oh, I think fresh from like LA.
Yeah, I think that's implied. But...
Yeah. So, okay. So I've just learned what our brand is today. I could have guessed it because I know that this has been one that's on your list for a while.
Mm-hmm. This is one that I've recently become more passionate about.
Well, before we get into it, though, I have something new I would like to bring to the table.
I love it.
And that's what I call, I've got some brand-tastic news.
Oh, great.
A new little segment. It's kind of like brand news, but it's just something that I'm excited about.
Great.
So this week's brand-tastic news is... I just love everything has to be a pun with brand,
with
too.
the word brand.
So I have learned this week. So, during the pandemic, I got really into Target's drive-up pickup. They honed it to perfection during pandemic. You put your order in online. You hit a little button that tells them that you're on your way. I know you probably hate that because that means they are now tracking me. I have zero issue with that.
My issue with the order pickup is I never got the hang of it to the point where like I would have to I would go in the store. I would leave I never figured it out and it ended up being more of a hassle.
Oh my God. It's so, maybe because I don't buy a ton of stuff. I'm getting like a tub of sour cream, some crescent rolls.
What's for dinner tonight?
Alanis Morissette record. I have like 5 things I'm getting.
You put on Alanis Morissette, you dip your crescent rolls in a tub of sour cream and really seduce yourself
It's
on
Saturday
a Friday night.
Yeah. I'd grab my scrub daddy to clean up the dishes and head to bed. No, so they just really figured it out. You put it in, you hit that you're on your way. They know when you've arrived, and usually within a minute, someone is just at your car door handing you your items. So that's already fantastic. What they've added now that is, I think, rolled out in several states already is Starbucks to that. So now, after I place my order, at the end of that, I'll get a little pop-up that says, hey, do you want some Starbucks too? I'm like, you know what? I do. Let me get my iced latte. I type that in. When they bring me my groceries, they hand me my iced latte.
Wow.
I smile, no tip involved, and I'm on my way.
That's the perk no tip.
Well, listen, I have tip fatigue. I read a whole article about it. We all have tip fatigue right now.
Yeah. What a treat. It's like you have a personal assistant.
Exactly.
That's
it's
fine.
so good. So it's small, but it's two brands coming together to make our lives a little
I love
easier.
also that like every week we talk about Target in some way. So
and now
this is
Starbucks.
and now Starbucks.
And Titanic.
I've gotten really into the Starbucks mushroom kale egg bites.
Wow.
You ever have those? An egg bite?
That does not sound fun or exciting. Where do you?
They're pretty brandtastic.
Are they like frozen?
No, I get them at Starbucks.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had Target in my head.
Okay.
I had Target in my head. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
My friend Liz also has always loved those egg bites.
There's something very like plastic microwaved bag about them. In my mind, it's not, a chef whipping me up a little morning frittata.
Yeah.
You can like almost taste the bag on them, but
everything at Starbucks does. Have you been there when they're loading up that case and you literally just watch them open up plastic packages and putting those things
they're
out
essentially like snipping the end off an Entenmann's and popping it in a toaster, and you're paying like $4.95 for it.
Okay. I don't know why you just brought up Entenmann's, but
Uh-huh.
Entenmann's has been on my brain for the last month. I've been craving. Entenmann's used to make a whole line of cakes. There was a Seinfeld episode about it.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to get these it was almost like a long, foot-long pastry that had jam in it and crumbles.
I know this.
I don't think they exist anymore. Every time I go to the store, I look, they seem like they've whittled down their offerings to just donuts and a couple of things. I don't think cakes are on the menu anymore at Entenmann's.
Wow.
I haven't done any research.
Okay, I think we need to do an Entenmann's episode stat. We need to give them the on-brand bump so they can start cranking out some more cakes.
Okay, I will probably write them over the weekend and forget about it. And next pod, I'll let you know.
Entenmann's is major.
Yeah, but I don't think they are anymore. You know what was incredible? When I lived in Cincinnati, I don't know if it's still there. We had an Entenmann's outlet store. So it was like cakes and donuts and stuff that were like one day past like Best Buy date, but you would get them for like 50 cents for a cake.
I think there was a day, I don't know if my mom took me out of school to do this, but maybe she did. We had a very lax attendance policy in my house about school. Didn't go to college, probably why. And I think there was a day
potting for free.
Right. I think there was a day where my mom let me skip school and took me to an Entenmann's outlet.
That feels like a really...
Is that very on brand for my mother?
It's on brand for your mother. I can't imagine. That is such an odd... It's like a 20-minute experience.
It was like a surprise. It was like she didn't tell me where we were going, and she knew I loved pastries, always have. I'm a pastry gal.
Yeah.
And it was like almost like my eyes were cut. Maybe I even had a blindfold on. And then it was like walking in and getting...
I wish we could...
to call my mom and ask her.
I wish we had an animator at our disposal so we could do an animation of this recreation. You definitely didn't have a blindfold.
You know what? I'm going to send my mom a message. I mean, she lives like 800 feet away from me, but I'm going to send her a message, and then maybe while we're recording, she'll confirm some of these details, and then I'll report
Well, while
back.
you're
But
typing that up, I
major.
can talk about another outlet store I used to go to that was just on San Fernando Road, a couple of miles away, that is also now defunct. But we used to have a Wonder Hostess outlet in Glendale, and it was the same sort of thing. You would get... You know what it would be full of? Like, they'll have, like, Incredible Hulk Twinkies.
A dented bunt.
Yeah, a dented bunt, a franchised collab.
Uh-huh.
And now that that's over and they have, like, 500 boxes left, they would ship them to the outlet, and me and a bunch of old ladies would go grab them. You know what I bet they used to have? There were Suzy Q's. I bet all the Suzy
There might be
Q's.
some dusty old Suzy Q's in the basement.
No, it's gone. It's all defunct. Everything's defunct.
Everything we love gets taken away.
You know what? Everything. I just want to have this moment. Everything that we love gets taken away.
Which is why it's important to enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Us.
So that's the lesson for the Scrub Daddy episode.
Wouldn't that be crazy if with the Entenmann's thing, like this is like a mandala, like a Berenstain Bears, where like we remember the Entenmann's long cake with the cream cheese and the crumbs.
The crumbles.
And then it's like, no, that never existed. Like that's the email you would get back from Entenmann's. Like, we've never had that product.
No, I'm sure of it. There was different jam flavors. They had a pound cake. In the Seinfeld episode, he had bought like a fancy cake and she ate it and she's like, we'll replace it with an Entenmann's or something.
Surely they still have the pound cake.
No, I don't think they do.
Okay.
I don't think they do. I think they have donuts.
I'm reeling. I'm not okay. That's tough.
We'll get back to people next week. Oh, but before we move on to Scrub Daddy, if anyone has tried, I'm looking for some more listener engagement. If anyone has tried the Target Starbucks drive up, or if you do anytime, let us know on Instagram. I'd love to know your experience about it.
Hey, if you've had a kale and mushroom egg bite from Starbucks, send us an email.
Let us know.
Love to chat about it.
Act like you're on Top Chef and describe it in the most thoughtful way possible.
We've actually been guests on Top Chef.
We actually were guests on. If you
guest makes it sound like we were judges.
Yeah. No, we were background on Restaurant Wars.
If you watch the season of Top Chef, I don't know what number it is, that they're in Los Angeles, and the Restaurant Wars episode, you will see John and I.
And David, your husband.
And my husband, David.
Not Alistair.
Not our producer, Al. He wasn't
Alistair
invited.
couldn't come. And it's been an ongoing joke for like 10 years. Look, I say that that's the best day of my life.
The food was so good. And we live like peasants, you know what I mean? We have humble lives. We're eating Entenmann coffee cakes and old expired Suzy Q's. So when we're served this amazing Top Chef Restaurant Wars meal, you asked for seconds, which I don't think was allowed, but they did do it.
I think I'm the only person in Top Chef history that's asked for just a background eater asking for seconds. And the thing, my favorite memory of that is we were literally sitting right next to Judge's table.
That Tom Colicchio used the bathroom right after you?
No, I don't know. That's your obsession. You bring that up every time. I don't know why that is your big memory. Mine was watching Padma, and I didn't order the chicken because to me, chicken always seems basic. So I got, I think, steak, but it came with this, what he called a clear barbecue sauce. And since I was a kid and they came out with like clear Band-Aids and clear
Band-Aids.
Yeah, they had clear Band-Aids.
Yeah, you're like fascinated with like the idea of clear.
I love a solid product that I can see through that I'm not supposed to be able to see through. I think this was one of the earliest reasons I was drawn to Swatch watches.
Wow.
Because I could see all the gears and stuff.
Oh, did you like those phones with the clear case?
I had.
I had one of
still
those.
Have one. A landline clear phone.
Yikes.
It's not plugged in, but in my storage unit.
We should do a raffle where you get to tour your storage unit and leave with one thing.
We should somehow incorporate that storage unit and the cabinet of curiosities into the pod. So I was like, why are we talking about clear? So he served us clear barbecue sauce. I thought it was the best thing. I mean, it tasted exactly like a rich, thick, non-clear barbecue sauce.
But it looked like water.
And I loved it. And that's why I asked for a second, so I could get more, and he gave me more of it. Well, then, when we finally watched the show, I saw Padma taste that barbecue sauce, and she was like, ugh, this is the worst thing I've ever eaten.
She was revolted. Honestly, they thought the whole meal was disgusting.
She liked her chicken. She talked about how great her chicken was, and that's why I regretted not getting the chicken.
Yeah, everything else that we were raving about, they were absolutely disgusted by. So, I mean, that just shows, what our tastes are.
Yeah, it made me feel like I'm complete.
Go find that episode if you want to get a little peek of me and John pretending to know
anything about food.
So today we're talking Scrub Daddy. What are your thoughts on Scrub Daddy as a brand, as a product, as an important figure in U.S. history at this point?
Here's what I'll say I know about Scrub Daddy. I know what the guy who made it looks like because he was on Shark Tank. I did see the episode where he pitched it on Shark Tank. I know.
Iconic.
Lori loved it. She knew it was an instant hit. I think it's Shark Tank's most successful product to date, I believe. I've never owned one. I find the look of them ugly. I can't stand them. She just threw me one.
I just threw a Scrub Daddy at John.
I've never owned one of these. I will tell you, I actually have been, in the last 2 weeks, have shopped for Scrub Daddies because I saw that they made Halloween designed ones. There's a pumpkin one, a ghost one, a Frankenstein one. So I actually have those in my cart on Walmart.com, but they're out of stock.
So you don't even like Scrub Daddies or use Scrub Daddies, but you wanted to buy them because they came out with a seasonal shape.
I would buy a Scrub Daddy shaped like a pumpkin. I love Halloween. I've already started decorating. I have 2 new pumpkin pillows from Target. So I love Halloween. So having that got me into it. And that's what I know about Scrub Daddy. And I think it's a cool material. Like, it does seem very cool. This is hard as a rock, but I think if I get it wet, it gets soft.
Well, it depends on what temperature you use.
Okay.
If you use cold water, it stays firm for intense scrubbing. If you use warm water, it gets soft and pliable, like a regular sponge. Isn't that incredible?
It is. I will say I hate cleaning almost anything in cold water. Dishes, my car, my body, anything. I don't like it to be cold. I like it to always be hot.
You don't like an ice cold bath at the end of a long day?
No, I don't. And I house sit for someone. I need to talk to them about this. I cannot figure out for the life of me how to get their kitchen water warm. And I have to wash all the dishes in cold water. It makes me crazy. But we're off topic. So let's go.
Well, Scrub Daddy, you're right about a couple things. Scrub Daddy was for a long time the #1 Shark Tank brand.
Okay.
It has been replaced by Bombas, another brand we know. Those are those super tight socks.
Your mother got us all a pair of those socks once for Christmas. And I will say, don't love the look of them. There's just too much design going on them, but they are incredibly comfortable socks.
They're great socks. They're like a mission-driven company. Like you buy a pair of socks, they give a pair of socks to charity because socks are one of the most requested items in homeless shelters. That's how this isn't about Bombas, but Bombas is a good company and they're now #1 for sale. So that's good for them. But for a long time, Scrub Daddy was the champion. And if you saw the episode of Shark Tank, you know, people they were not impressed by this at first glance.
Why would you be? It's just a sponge. If you looked at it and didn't know that it changes texture, it's just an ugly sponge with an ugly smiley face.
Wow. Okay. That is going to be very controversial.
No, don't tell me. Is it a sick kid? Is this what
you think this is a sick kid?
Is this what his son looks like?
You think this was modeled after his sick son?
I don't know. You had a really big reaction when I said this. This is an ugly smiley face, and I'm sticking to it. I hope I don't regret that. We'll see.
I mean, you'll only regret it because the level of fandom for Scrub Daddy is so strong, and they are so loyal. This is truly a rabid fan base. It'd be like if somebody was like, I think Taylor Swift's
come on,
pants are stupid, right?
You're comparing the fandom of Scrub Daddy to the fandom of Swifties.
Honestly, yeah.
You're insane. This whole episode's a joke now.
As somebody who doesn't even care about the product, but yet is now buying them because they're shaped like pumpkins, they're marketing in your cart.
In my cart, sold out.
Marketing geniuses.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
So let me give you a little history.
Okay, you can give me the history, but just real quickly before we go into that,
Yes.
It's not hard to sell me on buying something.
So make it shaped like a pumpkin and you're in, basically.
I really need to calm down.
What's the stupidest thing you bought that was shaped like a pumpkin? Or Halloween, or what did you buy something like truly stupid lately?
No, I am realizing I think I might have a shopping addiction, one, and two, I get that rush when I buy things and I need to calm down.
Like what have you bought? What's in your what'd you buy?
I mean, lately it's just been vinyl records, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to buy anymore. And then this week, a bunch came out, and I'm like, and now they're coming. I'm buying them. I don't even have a record player set up, but I'm like, I got to have them. Why? I could listen to it on Spotify, but I get that rush.
I mean, it's basically like you're collecting Pokemon cards.
There was a new that we keep getting off brand. There was a whole Pokemon drop this week that was fun to watch.
A Pokemon drop.
this Santa Cruz,
You have your finger on the pulse of Pokemon news?
I get so much Pokemon in my TikTok. I don't know why. Probably because I
Why?
sit there and watch people. There's literally people that their whole TikTok is just opening packs of Pokemon cards.
I don't think that's healthy for someone with this shopping addiction to watch somebody opening things on TikTok.
I have zero interest in them, so it's actually good. But
Okay.
this week there were these blind skateboard decks with Pokemon, and they went on sale 2 days ago, and people were opening them online, and it was fun to watch. It was like Willy Wonka, because they had like made a handful of gold ones, so everyone was looking for these gold skateboard decks, and it was just it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it sounds really fun.
You know what? You have watching children doesn't seem super fun to me. We get our thrills in different ways.
That's very true. Very true. So let's learn a little bit about the man behind the daddy. Well, he likes to call himself Scrub Daddy's daddy.
Oh, of course he does. He seems like that kind of guy. I remember him being a salesman.
People love him. He is very beloved in the Scrub Daddy community. He's the face of it. He puts himself in the marketing, in the advertising, the social media, and people really feel a connection to the Scrub Daddy. Aaron Krause is his name. So he comes from an interesting family. So as a kid in Philadelphia, at a young age, his parents made him pay rent when he turned 10.
10?
When he turned 10, his parents made him pay rent.
How much rent?
That wasn't disclosed.
Was
in
he
my
like,
research.
can I get a raise in my allowance?
Well, he had to earn money to pay his rent. So if he wanted to buy anything, he had to pay rent. If he wanted new underwear, he had to pay for it. And he would pay for it by doing chores. So like, for example, making the bed was $2, vacuuming was $5. Washing the car, this is going to be relevant. Highlight this in your notebook. Everybody following along at home, taking notes.
I see where we're going. You need something when you wash the car.
Washing the car paid $10. So it was the biggest payout. So he spent a lot of time washing cars and getting very, very good at it.
And you know, when you wash a car, sometimes you need a soft sponge. Sometimes you need a hard sponge. Okay.
So maybe the seeds are being planted. He's very entrepreneurial. He's a businessman.
He convinced his family to buy 4 more cars so he could just have money coming in all the time.
Hey, maybe he had to pay for them himself.
Yeah.
When he was in 11th grade, his dad came into his room with a map and like a protractor. Is that what the thing is?
Yeah.
Like the compass. And he put it in the center of Philadelphia and drew a circle. And he said, anywhere within this circle, I'll pay for you to go to college. Anywhere outside of the circle, you have to pay for yourself.
Do you know? God, now I feel like you asking these questions. I want to know how many mile radiuses that was.
Well, this might be a clue because he went to Syracuse, and that was on the very edge of the circle.
How fun. That's fun.
That's as far as he could go without leaving the circle. So he went to Syracuse. That's a fun fact.
Fun fact about me, similar to that, when I was in high school, I think my sophomore year, my dad asked me to come into the bedroom. He sat me down. He's like, listen, you're going to be able to drive next year. He's like, if you get straight A's for the year, I will buy you. There was some car I wanted. I don't remember what it was. He's like, I will buy you this car when it's time for you to get a car. I got a B on my first report card, and I was like, fuck it. And then he just stopped caring. But I always loved the offer.
I love that your dad was like, I have a really good idea. This is really going to work. He's like, oh, so proud, like talking to your mom, like, I just had a really good talk with Jon. I think he's serious.
I was serious. I just happened to get a B, and I was like, oh, well.
The very first one.
Yeah.
So whenever he had breaks from college, he would wash cars to make money. He hired his friends. He kind of created this little car washing business. He's always kind of an inventor. So he started tinkering with like foam pads or like kind of new inventions to like make car washing better. And he started
tinkering with foam pads.
Tinkering with foam pads, foam buffing pads.
He's just in his room tinkering with foam pads.
You know, if you have your highlighter out, highlight foam buffing pads in your notes because this will be coming back later. Everybody takes notes on brand in their headphones.
All right.
And then he went to college to major in business, but they ended up taking so many psychology classes. Okay, right? Entrepreneurial, psychology of the consumer. Started taking so many psychology classes that he ended up graduating the degree in psychology. So he started a car washing business after he graduated.
Wow, he really stuck to that.
He really stuck to it. I mean, $10 a car wash.
I hope
get good, right?
Had raised his prices.
His hands were always dirty with grease and car grime. And he found this foam, this German foam that worked really well. Like none of the other soaps that claimed to like remove grease from your hands, none of them worked well. So we found this foam.
This actual foam.
And it totally removed the grease from his hands without hurting his skin. It was like a light bulb went off. And he thought selling this foam for washing grease off hands is going to make me a millionaire.
Okay.
That didn't work.
What were they? Do you know what they were using the foam for? And where did you say it was from?
All I heard is that it was a German foam.
German foam.
So he found this German foam. Who knows? Maybe a crate of foam was misdelivered to his house.
How do you just come across a German foam?
Well,
he was a tinkerer in foam.
He was a tinkerer.
If anyone was going to come across a German foam, it sounds like it would have been him.
Remember I said he had a buffing pad invention?
Yeah.
He sold it to 3M in 2008 for $3 million.
That's a game changer.
And he said, do you want to buy my foam?
No,
and they said, no, not
we're
interested.
Good. Just this.
3M, that's a hell of a brand, right? Invented tape.
That's a big. I have a feeling they've done a lot more than tape. I feel like they're like in planes or some sort of vehicles.
I ain't getting in a 3M plane.
You probably would want. I think they're pretty reliable.
I gotta assume it's stuck together with tape.
You'll put all your money into this ugly smiley face pad, but not a.
Hey.
Listen, it's ugly.
Easy.
I feel like he just invented it by sticking. He had like a thing of it and stuck 2 fingers into it and just made a little smiley face.
Well,
but who am I to say? I think he's a billionaire now because of these.
He's a genius, so we have to show him some respect.
Yeah, I am always fascinated by people that have discovered this was part of Barbie, this was part of Crocs, like people that find a material or find a doll or find a thing in another country and see the opportunity for it in America. I'm assuming he ended up licensing it or buying the formula outright and then does something with it here and it's a hit.
We should really go overseas and start exploring different foams that they offer because like Crocs, it feels like there's a lot of earning potential in like foreign foam. And like how it can be used for American application.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, it just feels like there must be some untapped foams out there.
J&M's foreign foams and we'll just sell foams to other big corporations.
Now seeking investors.
Yes, we're looking for hello sharks.
So 4 years later, nobody wants to buy the foam. He thinks his foam is a bust.
He's been hustling it this whole time.
He has just he gave up. He just has boxes of old foam in his garage.
Did the early foam always have the face?
No.
Okay. It's not Scrub.
I don't think so.
It's not Scrub Daddy yet. It's just foam.
It's just German foam right now.
And he's like, listen, I've got this foam. It cleans grease, but it already did all the things this does. It gets soft and hard and all the things.
That was kind of one of the one of the properties of it. So 4 years later, after the 3M deal, he has a box of this old German foam in his garage, and he needed to clean some lawn furniture that was sitting outside, gotten pretty dirty. He was like, what about that old German foam? I haven't thought about that in like 4 years. I wonder if it's still in my garage. And so he goes in there, he gets a hunk of foam, starts to clean his lawn furniture, and his mind is blown. It is scratch proof. It is gentle on surfaces. It is tough on grime.
Wait, he didn't know any of this before? Well, I mean, I'm confused by what he was selling.
He had never tried it on like...
Oh, he had only was thinking of it as something for your skin.
He was only thinking of it for cleaning your
hands.
hands.
Now the potential gets a lot bigger.
Right. It's 2012. So that's when Shark Tank enters the story.
Okay.
He had a great presentation for the product, and this product requires a demo because you do need to see
definitely
it in
how
action.
Ugly it is. You got to see how ugly it is to see if you're going to put, yeah, that's ugly, but you know what? I'll give you $400,000 for 30%.
It has the eye hole, so you can put your fingers in it like this.
Yeah.
While you
clean.
clean.
That's part of the design.
That's part of it. The smile is to clean like a spoon or something double-sided at once. You just like stick a little spoon in his mouth and slink it out.
I like that.
Serves a purpose. He had an excellent presentation, and the bidding was $200,000 for 20% equity in the company. So
that was what he was asking
That's
for?
what he was asking. That's what Lori gave him.
Oh, okay.
And Lori Grenier, the queen of QVC. A product like this that needs a demo, let me just say, Shark Tank was basically its first TV commercial because in 10 minutes of the episode being on TV, they sold 42,000.
Wow. I believe it. I mean, yeah, this is something, because it's a cheap price point. I'm sure some people find the face cute. Mm-hmm. I could see this being an easy sell to consumers.
At that point, it's kind of like the rest is history. It just took off. Now it's in every store in the world.
I feel like they did. No, Shark Tank had an offshoot show like Behind the Tank for a very short time. And I think Scrub Daddy was featured in those. And if I remember correctly, it was like Lori going in and kind of catching up on how huge the sales are. Them brainstorm. They did, because he was like, Lori, look, I thought of doing like the Scrub Mommy and the flower thing. He was showing how they could branch out.
And they've definitely branched out. Now they have not only the Scrub Daddy, but the scrub in a million colors, a million seasonal shapes for holidays, the pumpkins for Christmas. They have Scrub Mommy, which has half of the sponge is the German foam and then half is like regular soft sponge. Now they have cleaning products, a power paste, a barbecue cleaner. They have so many different products now. Like a flour they use to scrub pants. It's so much. It's so much.
Well, that's fun. There's a whole line of these things now. He's probably worth $1 trillion.
So of all the Shark Tank brands, we know Scrub Daddy isn't your fave. Do you have any Shark Tank brands that are near and dear to your heart?
I think the only thing that I've ever bought from Shark Tank, unless I'm forgetting something, there was a family that had made these little like bagel bites that had like, it was like a ball, like a kind of like a Dunkin' Donuts, like
a munchkin,
but it was a bagel and there was like fillings inside, and they made a big deal with like Starbucks, and then they were in Starbucks everywhere, and now they were in grocery stores, and I bought a box at the grocery store, and they were kind of boring. But I know you guys are more of a Shark Tank family than I am. I know that you guys have a squatty potty. You've got like some back thing.
Yeah, it's called the chirp wheel that you roll on. And so, I mean, Squatty Potty, I think like the testament to a successful brand is when I'm like, oh yeah, that was a Shark Tank. Like Squatty Potty was like, it's the third best-selling Shark Tank product of all time. And I don't even associate it with the show.
And I think that was one of the ones where like they kind of got laughed at. Like it's like, it's just a molded piece of plastic that I guess gets you to sit in the right position for defecation, dookie.
Yeah, I mean, I rarely walk into a bathroom that doesn't have a Squatty Potty these days. It's rare.
Do you use yours constantly?
Constantly.
You're always positioned to poo. I've never used yours. I've never used one at anyone's home.
Why?
I don't
protest.
I'm not super flexible, and it's more flexing than I want.
Call me in there next time. I'll help you. I'll get your feet up there.
I appreciate that.
Give it a try. Try it. We'll pause.
All right, I'll be right back.
Did you ever remember the Shark Tank? In my research, I came across the Wake and Bacon pitch on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, he had like an alarm clock.
It was an alarm clock that would make bacon 15 minutes before you set it to wake you up.
So you could wake up to the smell of bacon. But it was just, you would just have this scalding hot piece of meat cooking by your bedside.
The general consensus is that it would be a fire hazard to have an oven cooking bacon next to your head.
And it seems like it could attract bugs or something while you were while it was in raw form all night.
Yeah, they only had a prototype. It never made it to the shelves. So I think there's probably also like a graveyard of Shark Tank products that just never made it past the prototype stage. And
I feel like Shark Tank itself, I kind of turned on at some point. Like it was in the same category as Impractical Jokers, where I like stumbled across it, thought it was the greatest thing in the world, became obsessed with it, binged it for a couple years, and then, I don't know, just turned on it. I'm like...
I'd say if anybody binged Shark Tank for a couple years, that's a long binge.
Well, yeah, I was into it for... I don't mean binge, like 24 hours, my eyes are bleeding, like I've got it, okay, 20%, I'm doing like Rain Man math, trying to figure out if it's a good deal.
That's what I was imagining.
But I just really liked it, and then, I don't know, they all seem to be like... kind of lose touch, and they're so rich, and you would hear so many behind the scenes stories about like companies getting deals and then it going sour afterwards, and now they're like peddling their wares on TikTok. I don't know. It just kind of started to leave a bad vibe. So I do
have a sad update for your bagel company, Bantam Bagels.
Really?
As of July 18th, the brand is dead.
It's gone?
It's gone.
Well, I will say I didn't love them, but maybe I didn't prepare. So I'm not super sad about that. I only got them once.
I mean, who was that for? Like eating a bagel like while you're like riding a bike or something? Why do you need it to be like so self-contained?
I'm sorry. Did we not start this episode with you saying that you like to buy at the same place at Starbucks these bite-sized egg bites, and now you're like, who on earth would buy a bite-sized bagel? They're literally in the same display case.
That's fair. I don't think of bagels as being like so messy that they would like need like a new receptacle. It's very like Taco Bell, like we were saying, to like Frankenstein a bagel in that way.
Well, I'm sure not everyone does this. When I get a bagel, I get heavy cream cheese. So my bagel is
How heavy?
heavy. Like,
How heavy?
as heavy as they're willing to go without charging me for extra cream cheese. You can't really do too much.
Do you eat cream cheese plain?
No. But I will sometimes, if I have like something left over, like a bagel or something left over that's left a bunch of seeds or whatever, I'll put cream cheese on my finger. Then I'll dip it around on the plate, pick up all the seeds and nuts, and then I'll lick my finger.
To me, that counts as eating cream cheese plain.
No.
You think the addition of seeds makes it not plain?
That's like almost the definition of what makes it not plain. There's something else in it.
If you sprinkled seeds into a cup of cream cheese, you could just go to town with a spoon?
No. It's just, I need something to help pick it up.
Okay, so what's the weirdest thing you eat plain? Like, what's the weirdest condiment you eat plain? What's the weirdest thing you eat plain?
It's not often.
Okay.
But I was on a date. This is so long ago.
Okay.
This is when I dated women.
Okay.
There was only 2 women that I ever dated.
Uh-huh.
This was Marcia. Mm-hmm. She now lives in Italy. We're still close friends. She listens to the pod. So she will hear this story. Shout out to Marcia in Italy. We were on a date once at a pizza place. And I don't even know why I said I could do this, or I don't think she challenged me. I just said, I could finish the shaker of Parmesan before we leave. And for the rest of the date, I proceeded to eat. Bro, like at first it was fine. Like I'm just like
like this, like
a whole shaker,
shaker.
like where you have to like tap it. It gets stuck in the holes. You have to tap it down and shake it. It was full. And I would put a ton on the pizza, but it got to the point where I just opened it up and I started spooning it. It was rough. And I'm just doing this to like make my girlfriend laugh.
Was it good at first?
Yeah.
Because I eat parm plain.
I love parm, but it's, too much of anything. Mm-hmm. Too much of anything. So now I've got like the cheese sweats. But I'm like, well, it's, this is making her laugh. This is what I got to do. I got to finish it. I do think I finished it. I'll have to ask her if she remembers. But that's probably the weirdest thing I've eaten plain.
Is that why she moved to Italy? It seems related.
No, I mean, it was probably, that was a complicated relationship. I was gay. I was super gay. And so I had limits to what I was comfortable doing.
In the bedroom.
We were very rarely in a bedroom. Oh God, she's going to kill me. We were quite often just in a car.
Oh.
We had a lot of kissing. I loved to kiss. And pride myself in being a very passionate kisser.
I believe that. You have nice lips.
Thank you. So we would often
taste a little bit like parm, but other than that, pretty nice.
Like making out with her doing parm burps. No, yeah, those many rainy nights sitting in a car listening to Susie and the Banshees making out with Marcia.
Aw.
There's your shout out, Marcia. So yeah, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
McDonald's sweet and sour sauce. I could just do that like a shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
That's
love
like
it.
The lowest rank of McDonald's sauces for me, I think.
I mean, any sweet sauce. I even like soy sauce. I'll do a little, like there's a little left in the packet. After you tear, put it on your little sushi or whatever. Then you go like, eat the soy sauce.
You know what I love about talking with friends is like, especially you, like I feel like you like to make fun of a lot of the things I do, and then you'll mention something that's quite equally as crazy, as if it's just like, but yeah, that's what us normals do. We suck the remaining drips of soy out of a packet. That would never enter my mind. Never enter my mind. But I will sometimes.
Okay, here we go.
I'll use soy sauce. I like soy sauce with I usually use sesame seeds in a lot of things I cook with soy sauce, and I'll use soy sauce quite like I use cream cheese. Get my finger wet and dip it around on the seeds.
Okay, so you're drinking soy sauce too.
I wish we could watch the listenership of this episode. Like everyone is now turned off.
The
like
dials have turned. We
no
start
one's
talking
listening.
about sauces we drink. Well, we'll bring it back to Scrub Daddy because that's why people have tuned in. So as I mentioned, Scrub Daddy has like a rabid fan base. 3 million followers on TikTok.
What?
So that is like major.
I can't. I've been trying to grow the on-brand TikTok since we've started this in May. We have 23 followers.
Of course.
I can't get anyone to follow us on that thing. And they have 3 million for this ugly face?
These are some of the comments on the Scrub Daddy social media. And maybe you relate to this as a collector. I feel like I need to buy 2 of each one, the special edition ones. One for use and one for the closet shrine.
Yeah, definitely.
So they responded, yes to having one for the closet shrine. They look so cute just sitting there untouched in their original packaging.
Okay, that's weird. They're not like, these are like people, it's like those people that get dolls that look like real babies or something. Like this is someone that, I don't know. There's something a little, I think because it has a face on it, it makes it weirder to collect.
Really? I think that's like what makes people connect to it. There were multiple comments of people who were like, I am going through a period of depression, and when I clean my dishes with the Scrub Daddy, I see this little face smiling back at me, and it like lightens my day. Something about the face. I think like somebody will marry Scrub Daddy like someday.
I don't want to make fun of that.
Someone marrying a Scrub Daddy?
No, that I will. No, but you know, we're all looking for connection in this crazy world. So if someone is finding the companionship that they need, I mean, I have jack-o'-lanterns all over my house. I don't think about them as my friends, but we all have what we need.
Anytime you display something in your home that has 2 eyes and a mouth, I think it does become your friend.
I will say my octopus pillow, or as you call it, my octopus doll, I don't think of him as a friend, but I mindlessly stroke its legs when I watch TV.
Stroke its legs. All 8?
Just like it has nice texture. Like the top of its legs are really soft and the bottom are bumpy. It's not...
Maybe a dog?
Dog is so much work.
Dog is so much work?
A dog is a lot more work than an octopus pillow.
I thought you just said dog is so much work.
A dog is so much work.
You're right. A dog is more work than octopus pillow. You're right.
It's just a sensory thing.
You might need a companion. It might be time.
Listen, maybe. But for now, I've got my octopus legs.
We got to see a picture of the updated bed. You have pumpkin pillows.
It's all the same. The only thing new is it now has a pumpkin pillow on it, which throws everything off because it's a seascape. With
pumpkins under the sea.
I should make the octopus attack the pumpkin.
Like a boat was having a Halloween party and then somebody threw the pumpkins off the boat and then the pumpkins sank into the water and then landed on the bottom of the sea and then an octopus was like, what the hell is this?
Wow, that made me think of something. Boats and sinking. What am I thinking of?
What am I thinking of?
What am I thinking of?
I'm sure you'll remember.
I can't remember exactly.
That's all I have on Scrub Daddy.
You know, I don't think I like it any more than I did before the pod. I probably will buy one. Can I take one of these?
That one is for you to take. Well, any color you want. You can take that one home. They have 8 packs at Costco. Breaking news. 8 packs of Scrub Daddy at Costco. Run, don't walk.
Thank you for sharing all this Scrub Daddy info with us.
They certainly don't need any brand aid. I'll tell you that much.
What I say does not matter. It is a truly successful brand. I see why you would bring it to the table. I wish it looked cuter. I just hate it. I hate it. I hate the way it looks so much.
Pamela said, I'm too attached. It takes me forever to part with him.
Who?
The woman on Facebook.
That's just
I'll call her Pamela J.
Well, hopefully you should. I hope you're going to post on these groups in the TikTok that we did this episode. Let's get those 3 million people. What if all of a sudden our listenership goes up by 3 million?
I mean, people are ravenous for more Scrub Daddy.
Oh my God. And they're going to hate me because all I did was bag on it.
You said that the only redeeming quality of this disgusting face is if it was modeled after a sick child.
No, that's not. Well, yeah, but I said it's ugly, and you're like, you're going to regret that. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, this is like the child he lost. And he's like, this is how I will remember them forever.
They're coming for you.
You know, that
Scrub
is something,
Nation.
okay, maybe they do need a Band-Aid for me. Maybe this does seem like it's very moldable. Like if they could do like a customizable Scrub Daddy and you could like, I could make my face or something or the face of a loved one, Marsha or something, and make it more personal, then maybe I'll get on board with it.
That's a really good idea. We'll email that to them.
Thank you. Before we head out, I do have a little bit of news on 559-748.
What's that?
That's my hostess case number for Susie Q.
Okay.
So if you have not heard the episode where I confess that I wrote hostess in the middle of the night and had no memory of it until I got a response from them, I had reached out to the company because one of my beloved hostess products no longer is in production, the Susie Q. They told me that they sent my concerns through the ranks of the company. Well, it came out this week. Hostess is now being purchased by Smuckers.
Wow.
So it's going to be a much larger company. That's probably why they haven't gotten back to me, because of the whole transition of...
Yeah, your message feels like it's low priority right now in the midst of this shakeup.
It'll get on the table at some point. I will reach out again once the merger's complete, just so it does stay on their minds.
I think that's a really good idea. I think you say, congrats on the merger.
Love the merger. Love your jams. Can't wait to be 100. So Al Roker gives me a shout out on the Today Show on one of your jars of jam. And by the way, let's talk Susie Q's.
Yeah, let's get down to brass tacks. And then maybe the president of Smuckers is like, I always loved Susie Q's. So I'm going to dust off the factory and get those back in production.
I love that. I love the picture of him making the call and someone goes into the Susie Q conveyor belt that hasn't been used for anything for, it's really only been like 2.5 years.
Rats have nested in the gears.
And sure, they broom those off. It's like a cartoon. They're like, what? And they run off and they hit a big Frankenstein kind of lever. The gears start gearing up again. They pour the batter. And I will soon have Susie Q's again.
A nation is in mourning, awaiting the day that they hit the shelves again. That's really exciting news.
I'll keep you abreast.
Thank you so much for that. So that's it for this week's episode of On Brand on Scrub Daddy. We had a lot of fun, and I look forward to a new episode next week. John, you're going to surprise me.
I am. Well, you know what I will tell you is that 3 days ago, it was a different episode than it is now.
Oh, wow. So I'm going to be tossing and turning all night wondering what you have in store for me next week.
I know, and I'm not 100% sure I made the right choice, so we will have an episode next week, and then I will let people know the one I was going to do, and they can tell me if
you made a mistake.
Yeah, if I...
well, that sounds very exciting. I can't wait.
Is that too much? Did I reveal too much?
A little peek behind the curtain of how John's twisted mind works. If you're enjoying the show, please let us know on Apple Podcasts. We love to hear what you guys think. If you have an idea for an episode, let us know there. Give us 5 stars. Tell your friends. Subscribe, rate, and review. And we will see you next week with an all-new episode.
Bye.
Bye.
It's on brand.